Hello, tarot tube with the tarot tube finger wiggle. So here we go. I am going to start looking through my collection through the lens of, does it meet my DEI criteria? And this is something I have talked about since I started the channel, whenever it was. But I'm sure that I have things in my collection that I acquired because I was caught up in the enthusiasm for it, or I just didn't have my critical thinking hat on. So I'm going to go back. This is going to be quite a project, and I'm going to look at everything, each deck, all of them. And I thought I'd start with this playing card deck because it'll kind of put me in the right mood. So this is the Queen G, I think is how you would pronounce it, deck. And it is just a deck of cards. Well, here she says, Queen G playing cards, the first ever multi-ethnic deck of cards where men and women are equal. So instead of having Queen, they've changed it. So they just have monarchs, which could be female or male. There's a Duchess and Duke, a prince, and a princess. Oh, I said that wrong. That's funny. Princess and prince. And what I think is interesting about the evolution of this deck, and a good learning experience for me, was the first iteration of this deck, everybody was white. And this is a young woman created this deck. I think she may have even been a teenager when she started her work. And she got pushed back because, you know, playing cards so white. And she went back. She took that criticism. She went back and she had a second iteration of this deck. And there's even, is she the one that made a left-handed deck? Possibly. Anyway, this is what the backs look like. They're beautiful. I do read playing cards, so that's why this particular deck is in my collection. And look at it. I can read this deck and I can feel like all the people that come across my path in my life, and I do have a very interesting and mixed group of people in my life. Everybody's represented. And because we've got different ages, we've got different skin tones. We don't have different sizes, but I mean, there's only so much you can do with, this much of a person, right? So you can read into these things whatever you want. So I just thought I'd start with this deck and say, well, this one passes. This one gets to stay in the keep pile. Now I'm going to have, I'm going into this very open-minded. I don't have a set rubric, which isn't really like me. I usually have like ways of measurement. But this time I'm using the I know it while I see it. I'll know it when I see it. Okay, keep pile. And I pulled just a few decks because I don't want this to be a super long video. All right, so I pulled this one because I'm pretty sure it's going to pass. Now this one, what is the story on this one? This is the mass market version. So this was not mass market. I paid too much for it. And then I lost a couple cards and ended up having to buy it again because I like it. But I'm pretty sure this is going to pass. So this is the Unfolding Path Tarot guidebook by Athene Noctura, who also did this. Oh, this is right. I can reach it. Who also did this. So I might as well look at both of these together and see. I think they're going to pass. So one of the things that I'm going to have a hard time with is I'm not really happy with using the language king and queen. I think it's too gendered. For the same reason that I have problems with yin and yang, moon and sun, female, male, that's not exactly the way it goes with the people in my life. I know plenty of really sensitive, introspective men, and I know plenty of extroverted, take action, take charge women. So why are we sticking with this king and queen language? So in a deck like this, that I think is basically going to pass, I still have a problem with this. And I've noticed that people who, when they're reviewing decks, let's just do this while I'm talking. I noticed that while people review decks, they like, oh, so in my mind, I just don't think male or female for king and queen, of course. And so that means you're constantly making exceptions and excuses. So here's a knight that has a female appearance presenting. Good. See, it wasn't that hard, was it? And here's a knight that looks male. So I'm really having problems with the language of king and queen. There was an interesting article in the New York Times today. Today is Friday, January 17th. I hope I'm right about that. About gendered language, inviting you to think hard about that gendered language is something that we could, there's room for improvement, folks. They were specifically talking about how the Golden Globes changed supporting actress and supporting actor to supporting female actor and supporting actor, which it's an improvement. It's not, anywho, not perfect. I think there's some room here, folks. Okay, I think, I haven't gone through the whole thing. I think that this is going to be keep, with the exception of this king and queen language, not liking that. We've got lots of body types. I don't think, there doesn't seem to be much variance in ability. Most people seem to be fully able. I'm not sure what the right language for that is now. But this one gets to stay in the keep pile. And let's look at the oracle that goes with this. Well, it doesn't go with the deck, but by the same creator. I'm pretty sure this is going to pass because it's all animals, if I recall correctly. It's all stuff from nature. Yeah, this is fine. You get to stay, which is familiar runic oracle gets to stay. And we'll put that here. All right, now this deck by Isabella Rotman. Yeah, I got that right. It does a good job of having different ages, body types, skin tones, and also some variation on differently abled people. Let's just flip through a few things. I'm confident this is going to stay. I don't love the real Catholic popey look of the Hierophant in this deck. It is a historical fact, but I don't love it. And whenever I see these kinds of things in my mind, I instantly go to the Everyday Witch Tarot where the Hierophant is a yoga teacher. Yeah, I like that better. So this one, some of these things really lean into the Pamela Coleman Smith RWS imagery a little bit more than I need to see it. Yeah. Here's an example of some gender stuff that I'm just not super comfortable with. Oh, here's what I was talking about. This one does have differently abled people, physical differences. So that's a good thing. Overall, way better than average. So this one definitely has to be a keep, although still I've got reservations with it. So this is what's hard for me is even the best decks require me to do some mental gymnastics. Okay, get in the box. It requires me to do some mental gymnastics, just like trying to get the cards in that box in order to read them the way I see the world. All right, now I pulled out something a little bit silly just to see, well, what's going to happen. So, of course, anything with an IP, intellectual property, is almost always going to be inside editions, which is going to mean pip text, usually. Whoops, okay. There we go. But let's just see So you can't really, when it comes to gender anyway, that's about Disney more than this creator, but let's just see what they did with it. Okay, there's the stepmother. Oh, apparently I shuffled reversals in here. Okay, so here's, what's her name from the Sword in the Stone? I can't think of her name. But they put her in Knight of Wands. I have not actually read with this deck. I got it because, never mind why. I just got it. And now I never reach for it. Never. Literally never. Okay, so very gendered with the King and Queen, which is exactly what you would expect. Huh. Okay. Sorry, this is that Mustafa? Yeah, I guess so. Sorry about that, but just banged the camera. King of Coins. Gee whiz. I mean, also, as I'm looking at this one, I think it does pass my DEI criteria, you know, but I also have to ask myself some hard questions about would I ever actually use this deck? Why do I have it? I don't know. I mean, the entire world of Disney has got some problematic stuff involved with it, but you know, it is a good deck, the way they've what's on each card. It's definitely a readable deck. That's so funny that he's the Page of Cups. You know what? Why am I not using this? Oh, I love the Wheel of Fortune being the spinning wheel from Sleeping Beauty. Okay. I'm liking this deck more than I thought I would. But let's get back on track. Does it pass? Yeah, I think it does pass. That's funny. Okay, this gets to stay. This gets to stay, and it may get pulled out now. Okay. Why did I get it? I got it because I play Disney Dreamlight Valley, which is a video game, and I like to pull cards when I'm playing video games. That's why I have it. And then I didn't really use it. Okay, let's look at this one. Now, there was quite a buzz when this came out. I'm going to step away and get my book here. So this is Phyllis Curot's book, deck, and there was a big buzz about it when it first came out. And then I see that not that many people really use it, I don't think. I think they have it in their collection. Here's the book. But they're like, oh, it's hard to read, because she did sort of flip some stuff around in this deck. The artwork by Daniel Barlow is beautiful. But I actually do use this deck, and I like it. And I think the art is just extraordinary. And I put this card on top just for this video so I could say, so look, this is card 21, the Council of All Beings. And look at how beautiful that is. And I think that says it all in terms of, for me it does. I draw this card a lot. I think it says it all in terms of whether or not this is diverse, egalitarian, inclusive. It's about the world that we live in. So it's got animals, it's got people, it's got nature. And she does change the court card. Well, she changed a lot of stuff, but she does change the court card. Let's just see. I can't remember what she says about it. Well, so she goes messenger, witch, craftsman, goddess. So you can see that is how she's changed the court cards. I'm trying to remember what she says. It's so many years since I actually read this bit, but anyway, yep. I feel like And, you know, when she says craftsman, it's not necessarily a gendered thing, although goddess, they are female. But there are lots of men in this deck. Not necessarily. It's like, it's not all women in the deck. And, you know, I just relate. Maybe it's because Phyllis, can I call her Phyllis? Why not? Phyllis and we're boomers. And I think that for us, for my generation, especially women, the Fool card, this does it for me. This absolutely does it for me. It is, the beginning is the walking away from this mess, this dumpster fire of a world that we're living in. So yeah, this one just does it for me. This one is totally in, very much in. All right, let's put this back. I don't know, I'm like trying to be all neat and tidy here, but maybe I'm gonna have to give up on that for the sake of time. Let's see, we're at 16 minutes. Yeah, let's do 2 more decks. And then, you know, I just have so much to go through that I think is just gonna have to be a series. Yeah, in fact, you know what? I am making this on Friday morning. I'm gonna go live this afternoon. I'll go live this afternoon at 2:22 p.m. Eastern time and do some more decks. And then it's unlikely, my channel is too small, but maybe somebody will come on and I can have a conversation with somebody. All right, here's one that is an absolute keeper. I have 2 copies of this. This is the one that I share with people. The other one is only touched by my hands. So this is Benabel Wen's Spirit Keepers Tarot. If you watched any of my videos at all, you know that this is my deck. This is it, baby. So look at the titles of hers and look at the imagery, and you'll see that she's just got so much going on here. This is not a patriarchy deck by any stretch of the imagination. And that's the problem with RWS. I need to have tea to fortify myself for what I'm about to say. That is the problem with the traditional RWS imagery for me. It is so patriarchal. Wow. It is. It's really reinforcing patriarchal stereotypes and ways of looking at the world in a way that I just cannot. I cannot. Yes, that is it. I cannot. And that's why I never actually use a traditional RWS deck. Yeah. But here you go. This is the deck that does it for me. Absolutely. It's multicultural. It doesn't get locked into gender roles. And we have so many different belief systems that are being referenced here from all around the globe. It's esoteric. This is the only deck I have that's really obviously esoteric that I really vibe with. But yeah. So this is absolutely a keeper. So far the 2 that are just really, oh yeah, this is it. And I think it's going to be fair for me to kind of rank these decks. These 2, I think, are going to be right up at the top of the list. I've got a lot of decks. I have a lot of things to look at and think about, but those are going to be up there. All right, this one, the Herbcrafters Tarot by Joanna Powell Colbert. Actually, she could be say Colbert. I don't know how she pronounces it. And Letitia Guthrie. So with this one, we have a strong, let's see, Latina influence. Let's get these right. Obviously, I've done a reading recently. There we go. I tend to do that when I put things away after a reading. I flip those cards up so I see them, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I got that the last time. So in this one, they've taken the court cards and they've renamed them to fit the theme of the deck. Let's see. Nope. Oh, here we go. Okay. So they're saying the titles of the people cards are changed from traditional court card names to represent the archetypes each woman embodies as she matures into her craft, from wanderer to warrior to midwife to teacher. So the pages become hijas, daughters, knights become adelitas, warriors, queens become madres, mothers, and kings become curanderas, healers. So sorry about my high school Spanish pronunciation, but pretty much. Like fairy godmothers, they each offer a gift to the herb crafter in the form of a virtue. Hijas give playfulness, adelitas give activism, madres give love, and curanderas give wisdom. So they're putting this deck firmly in the world of women, but even then, instead of the traditional, king, ruler, monarch kind of thing, it's wisdom, love, activism, and playfulness. And I like that. I like that very much. So if you're a man, I guess this deck would be not DEI for you. And I am aware of that. However, I would also point out that most of the imagery in this deck is just of plant life. And we only see hands and forearms. So is it fair to say, and the mandalas, oh my goodness, they're so beautiful. Is it fair to say, well, you know what, guys? Maybe you could just look at those and you could say, yeah, but it doesn't have to be women. That could be a man's hand too. Maybe that would be fair. So it's not 100% even-handed, is it? Because now this is set in the world of women. But it's a keeper for me. So that is the little exception that this one has. It's in the world of women, and that makes it, if you just accept that going in, then it's DEI. So, and it does require you to take a little bit of wisdom and cultural influence from the Latina community. I'm assuming in North America, but could be South America too, right? Yeah. All right, let me put that to the side. And I'm thinking maybe you'll just to kind of balance that out, let's take a look at this oracle deck. Here it is. I was afraid I wasn't going to be able to find it quickly, but I did. Brother to brother. And then I think we'll have to stop here because I'm already at 22.5 minutes. All right, so look at the cute box. Oh my goodness. So this is by Levi Smits, and he is, should I say this? Yeah, he's gay. He certainly talks about it a lot. Look how pretty this is. And he created this deck. Whoops, there we go. And I wrote the numbers so I could find things in the guidebook more easily. He created this deck, and it is, I think, totally DEI. And it's, when you have men, they're so to me, very masculine. The male form here is very male. And I believe that was, his intention. But similar to the Herb Crafter's Tarot, when I pick this up, look how beautiful Star Anise is. When I pick this up, I know that I'm just going to get male images. I'm not going to get female images. And I know that the male images are going to be guys who've been, it's swole. They've been spending time at the gym, these fellas. And I know that it was not created to please me as a woman so much as it was to give the male gay community a deck that they could feel really comfortable and seen. But he does make it perfectly clear that, anybody can use the deck, and I include myself in that, anybody. And I don't feel offended at all that there aren't any women in this deck, because I just knew that was the deal going in. And I find it very attractive and beautiful, and I like it. I like it a lot. And the card quality, oh my goodness, the card quality is like butter. Yep. So let's just manifest. Let's end there. Let's manifest a collection that I can feel comfortable with. It doesn't make me feel kind of cringy, like somebody's being excluded deliberately or out of just ignorance and narrow-mindedness. Let me cultivate a collection of decks that I can feel really proud of and very, very comfortable with. So that's it. If you made it to the end, if you're interested in, reevaluating your decks, this isn't about going out and buying something new. This is about going back and looking at what you have and saying, does this really fit my values today? Does this foster the kind of world that I want to live in? If you're interested in that, hit the like button. What the heck? Subscribe. Come back and watch another one, because I'm going to do more videos about this because it's important to me. And I know it's important to other people. And I just want to get this out there so that if you feel like you're alone in this, you're not alone. There are plenty of us who aren't just, like buying whatever the next shiny thing is. We're looking for more intention. There you go. That's what I'm up to, and I hope you're doing well. It's super cold where I am, so I hope you're staying warm and something beautiful crosses your path today and that you are aware and see it. Bye-bye.